Here's what no one tells you about ROI of marketing. We're going to talk about how to measure success as a growing RIA and what really matters, as well as give you a glimpse into how we approach this at Ficomm. My name is Carolyn Dalle-Molle. I'm a VP and strategic lead at Ficomm Partners. I run this Dear Ficomm advice column on our YouTube channel to help answer your questions. So any advisor is welcome to submit a question in the link below. But today we're talking about ROI, which is basically the question that we get a lot, which is, how can I track ROI? What's the ROI on this? And the truth of the matter is, there's something that people don't talk about enough with return on investment in marketing, or what's working in marketing. Even sometimes we'll be sitting in a conference and someone will present a bunch of data about where clients are coming from, like sources of new clients. And the reality is this data is really hard to be super accurate. And let me tell you why. We must acknowledge that ROI is not linear. So you might see your data is, a good amount of my clients come from referrals. So I just need to focus on referrals. But that is a narrow lens and it doesn't map to reality. So if you are an advisor or a firm that has said, like, we're struggling to track ROI, it's probably because you're thinking about ROI in a linear fashion. Sometimes ROI is linear. For instance, if I was trying to sell this ergonomic mouse, I could bring it to a convention and sell some. I could say, I went and I sponsored this event. I had a table. I sold a couple hundred ergonomic mouses. But the problem is we are not selling a physical product. We are not selling something that is an easy buy, a quick buy, an inexpensive buy. What we are selling in this industry is trust, is relationship, is knowledge. It is an intangible service that is very emotional for the buyer. So the marketing experience and the ROI of marketing is not linear. Let's say you do the same marketing effort. So maybe you sponsor an event and you show up and you have a table. And you met with some people. Maybe you get some names, you get some good conversations. But did that table alone make enough people sign up to work with you? No. What we need to consider is what will happen after that event. What are their touch points? What do they do after the event? And what maybe were they exposed to before the event? So let's just stick with after the event. They likely go and they Google you. They look at the firm's website. They poke around and see what of any content you've published. So they're reading some blog articles. They're looking at the LinkedIn profile of key advisors or the founders of the firm. They're trying to gauge, can they help me? Can I trust these people? Will I like working with them? There's a whole qualitative phase that is called the consideration phase. So you have to know that even though you boothed at the table, what is also serving that person is your digital presence. Were they able to find you online? Were they able to see themselves in your message? Did you have a first meeting that compelled them? When they looked into the team, what did they see from the team? So there's a whole slew, maybe easily 24 touch points that prospect will be influenced by. So you cannot map that the ROI is just on the table, or the table is the problem or the solution, because ROI in our industry is not linear. So what do we do? If we acknowledge this reality that the consumer behavior in buying financial advice is not a linear experience, and no one marketing tactic can solve everything for the higher ROI on our marketing spend and effort, what do we do? Okay, so we acknowledge that as a reality, but what now? There's a few ways we approach this at Ficomm, and I will outline them here briefly, but absolutely let me know if you have any follow-up questions and I can record another video. The high-level way to look at this, though, is you want to track a few things. So the moment you decide to look at your marketing results in this way, we want to baseline where you're at right now. So baseline things like today's AUM, revenue, how much wallet share do we have for clients? How many active COI relationships are referring business, and how many of those referrals are we closing? Same thing with client referrals. How many client referrals did we get last year, and how many were we able to close? These kinds of initial business result signals are easy to baseline, and you want to do that now, because then you'll be able to see over time, do these numbers change? And are they changing in a way that is tracking us to our goal? Okay, so the business metrics are really clear, but you want to make sure that you are able to look at the whole marketing experience, and you're probably going to notice we need to elevate some things. So now that I'm thinking about marketing in a non-linear way, our SEO needs some help. Our website message is pretty vague, or it's not really speaking to the power of what we do. Or none of us as an advisory team are active on our LinkedIn profiles. And in fact, none of us have updated our LinkedIn in 4 years, whatever it might be. But you need to look at your digital presence, elevate that, and then also look at the tactics you're doing to drive more initial introductions. So center of influence relationships, how are you servicing and speaking to clients to drive referrals, things of this nature. So we've baselined key metrics. We've then elevated our strategy, including our digital presence and ensuring that we are driving more opportunities from our marketing efforts. Then at a quarterly basis, you want to look back at the key indicators. You'll be able to look at not only the business metrics, those first few that I outlined, but what we also do at Ficomm with clients is look at leading indicators. Because after a couple months of refined activity, the business indicators may not have changed a lot yet. But what we will want to look at is the change in leading indicators. That is, are people spending more time on your website? Are there more people spending quality time on your website? Do you have more followers on your social media pages? Or have key relationships with centers of influence reactivated and are starting to engage with the team in a whole new way? What's client feedback on the types of emails you send and resources you create for clients? Has client feedback gone up? Have you started to get direct messages on different platforms asking you about the article you post or the video you created? Are you getting any DMs? All of these kind of more marketing type metrics, we want to see that they're going up as well. Quantity and quality is going up because leading indicators such as these are giving us a signal that the business indicators are about to go up as well. This was a very fast look at marketing ROI. It is a nuanced conversation. It's different for certain firms given certain circumstances or what you're really focused on, but it is an important one. And I welcome the conversation. You can either reach out to us at Ficomm Partners if you want to get more serious about your ROI, or just send me a question and I'd be happy to create another Dear Ficomm episode for you. I will see you in the next one.